Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and like, follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenni. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast with Dr. Jenni and James.
Good morning.
And Jenni is in the house again. Can you hear her little good mornings? It's so cute. There's a little good morning. It's just, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we are here today. Jenni and I has already kind of had some talk this morning amongst ourselves. We're working on some money stuff.
As we always do. Talking, that is.
But I woke up this morning with this on my mind, and I would really, I had to refrain from talking about it in our morning coffee because I wanted to bring it out right here. You asked me why I was a little weird this morning because I've been holding this back because I want to talk about it so bad.
Okay, go for it.
Are you ready? You ready for the subject of the day?
I'm ready.
What is your purpose?
Metal to the pedal.
What is your purpose? What is my purpose? Why are we here? Why do we go through the things that we go through? Oh, look at that look. I'm getting a blank look right now. Like, oh my God, this is a big one.
No, I'm good.
You good with that?
All I do is open up the channel and let the shit flow in.
Let it flow. My S-hole's under control today.
Your S hole.
Is in control or out of control?
We'll see.
Y'all don't know it because I edited it out, but I have a tendency to stutter. I'm like
Stanley.
I do that a lot.
What's that cartoon character that does that back in our day?
Yosemite Sam. That's all.
No, he's the little old man.
Yeah, you got the mustache, right?
No, he's bald.
He's bald.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. Yeah, that was Yosemite Sam, right?
No, I think it was the bald man. The little bald guy.
Okay, I'll have to look.
Somebody look that up.
Look it up, please. Check it
on
out.
On our multiple people of staff here.
Hey, one of you writers back there, can you all look that up, please? In the back. So what is your purpose? Why are we here? I woke up this morning with this on my mind because, we go through things that are good. We go through things that are bad. We go through things that make you think, man, what is going on? Why is this in my reality? What is the purpose behind all of this? There was my S-hole going off again. My S-hole got out of control for a moment.
Stuff it in your asshole.
And you get in this point sometimes to where you're like, man, does this ever show me why I'm doing it? Why am I going through this? Why are we living this? What is the purpose behind the daily events, the daily actions, the human reactions, the spiritual alignment, the non-spiritual alignment? What is the purpose behind all of it? Feel free to jump in anytime, Dr. Jenni.
I'm just letting you finish rambling.
I mean, it's a deep subject because if you remember
it is a deep subject, and I'm trying to decide how deep do you want to go.
And I didn't used to be confused about my purpose. We got asked this at Camp Chesterfield. I did, if you remember, coming out of the seminar that I gave there.
You got asked what?
I got asked.
What is your purpose?
What is her purpose? Because they know I do aura reading. He was coming up to me randomly wanting me to do an aura reading on her. And she was asking me what her purpose was. And the only response I gave her was to have experiences. And I didn't used to be confused about my own. I just feel like that I'm missing something in my purpose.
I mean, definitely if you're having an emotion of missing something, which is a form of lack, then that's your emotional gauge that says it's time for evolution.
Time for an upgrade in your S-hole.
Boop, 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 boop.
Is that the ticker tape coming in?
That's that noise where the news flash.
Oh, yeah.
News.
The news alert.
Yeah, the news coming in. Upgrade coming in.
Yeah. We live in Florida, and off topic for a second. I just went to the store to get gas and everything. Yeah, that was my screech when I veered off to the right
Where
here.
are your buttons that give us the sound effects so they don't have to torture through mine?
Well, that actually was a pretty good one. There was like 50 people in line at the convenience store buying all the water and all the Gatorade and everything off the shelves. And there was a line for the gas pumps and all this other stuff. And all because there's a storm that's out in the Gulf that's going to hit north of us. We're going to experience like 50-mile-an-hour winds here.
That's what they always do.
And
that's because we're still living, a very large part of society still lives in a fear-based template, unfortunately.
Don't get me wrong. Storms can be bad that you're in the path of one. Like when I was a kid, we used to go chasing tornadoes that had 120, 130-mile-an-hour winds. And we would go chasing them.
Yeah.
We would go looking around at them. But here it's like everybody just panics and they buy all the toilet paper, all the water. Then they have 2 years supply of water and toilet paper in their house because the storm misses us.
Yeah, and if they got really creative, then they could go on some of the selling sites and sell it and recoup their money.
It's crazy because, you may be without power for, say, a week. That's what the governor is saying. Be prepared to be without power for a week.
Is there a purpose to this story?
Probably not.
Because
how
your
much toilet
question
paper
was,
do you
what
need
was
for
your
a week?
purpose?
How much do you really have to buy 25,000 rolls of toilet paper for a week?
Are you just venting, or do
No,
you
I
want
just
a
thought it was-
purpose?
I want to get back to purpose. Sorry, I veered off track for a moment.
Trying to bring him back, y'all. Kicking and screaming, man. You hear that?
Sorry, my S-hole got out of control again.
That S-hole
know.
is something else.
Sometimes he just rambles on. The story I was saying about the lady in Camp Chesterfield, Indiana, that's how I responded to her was, it's to live. It's to move forward with life, have experiences in it.
Yeah. And that's a great answer if that person is at that place where they can actually understand what you just said.
Correct.
But not everybody is at that level to where that answer will be satisfying.
Well, apparently I'm one of them.
There are multiple dimensions to the answer of this.
Can we start with one of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's.
Okay,
So,
take over, Dr. Jenni. Please welcome to the floor, Dr. Jenni.
Where's my clapping?
Oh, yeah, here.
Thank you.
There you go. Let's make sure you wave to the crowd. Make sure you wave to the crowd. That's all Dr. Jenni's fans.
So, okay. My perspective of this is kind of like school. Kindergarten, pre-K, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school. So on the elementary level of what is my purpose, your purpose is whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. And if you're still very somewhat unconscious, then that purpose is going to happen no matter what is in your awareness. In other words, it's going to happen automatically based on your beliefs, patterns, and programs. As we evolve, as we grow, that purpose is going to change, and it changes constantly. So there is not one big, huge purpose that you're just going to do, and you're going to do that for the rest of your life from that elementary level, so to speak.
So to clarify what you're saying, because I'm questioning one thing, it is that what we do on a daily basis, because we're in this place that we have created based on our beliefs, patterns, and programs, is our purpose at that moment. So your purpose is changing. It's a moving target?
Yes.
Okay. Please expound.
At one level.
At one level. At the first level.
At a certain level.
Okay.
Right. Yep. It's always changing. So if you feel inspired to walk across a room and give this person a compliment, you have agreed to be the person that provided this one person the compliment that then caused them to have a different perspective of themselves and possibly create confidence within them so that they now have the inspiration to move forward to take the next step in their life. That was your purpose at the moment. And that can happen whether you're an awakened being or whether you're not. living unconsciously or intentionally with a purpose.
I'll give you that one. I do agree with that. Like there are times throughout my day that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know why I'm there doing it. And I understand the consequences of my action and the chain reaction of events that happen afterwards.
Right.
But it's those moments of, like this morning when I woke up and I'm sitting outside because, you know, we're working on some money stuff. We're working on some purchasing some things and we're doing things like that. And I get up this morning and I kind of feel just lost in the moment.
In a good way or in a not so
in a confused
fun
way. It's not really, it wasn't negative. It wasn't positive. It just felt confused. I felt confused about what am I supposed to do first? And what is my purpose within this exact moment in time? What is my purpose?
Okay. Confusion is still an emotion.
Agreed.
Emotions are our guidance system. So confusion has its own frequency, which is not completely up there with the vibration of higher self.
Okay.
So it still is an emotion. So it's indicating to you specifically that something is, so to speak, ready to evolve to the next level.
Okay. Keep on.
My God, you want me to give you all the answers?
Yes.
For Pete's sake.
That's why I married a doctor.
Can you do some of the work? Sometimes the confusion, because confusion has a vibrational frequency that's different than the answer, than the solution. You can't see the solution or the answer because you're in the middle of the pool of the thing that is confusing. So if you're in the middle of thinking, okay, I'm kind of confused about what is my purpose, you got to dial it down and ask yourself some more questions. So like this morning when you got up and you were confused, are you confused about what is your big giant purpose in the multiverse? Or are you confused about what is your purpose for today as you bring it under the microscope and dial it in and pinpoint? And so that would be the first question.
So my the big picture purpose, I have no problem knowing what that is. I've been given that many years ago and I understand. What I don't understand is the multidimensional levels of this purpose that we travel from reality to reality doing and creating things and being who we are. And on a daily basis right now in this reality, we have hundreds of people that rely on us every single day. Those people also look to us specifically in some occasions, just me, for safety and security, for directions within their world. Mm-hmm. And positive reinforcement on things. But I asked myself this morning, why me? Why? Like, why am I the guy that has to do this at this moment? Why can't I assign it out to somebody else and just dictate it?
Why can't you?
So, confusion's a big word. So I guess my confusion was more about why am I having these thoughts of why? And what is the true definition of those things? So I think it's kind of more than a kindergarten level thing.
Of course. Me. Yeah. So you're still creating your own reality.
Agreed.
And all of these illusional parts of the play that you are creating serve a purpose to get you from one point to the next on your own particular evolutional journey. Then what happens is your purpose within that microscopic journey is also very much changing. And the key to it is identifying the emotion. We've identified that as confusion. And then the next thing that you talked about or that came up was, okay, why do I have to now do these things that are no longer feeling enjoyable or pleasurable to me, or that I just no longer feel the need to have to do anymore? That's just an indicator that you're ready to evolve and put yourself out there and say, okay, can this be done in a different manner so that I can experience it from a different angle, from a different viewpoint? That's all evolution is.
Okay.
In the Big Bang Theory, so to speak, the all that is at one point in all of this was not even self-aware.
Okay.
And it became, because of the nature of evolution, it had to become self-aware. And in becoming self-aware, then it had to fracture into different aspects of itself so that it could go on a journey to experience, well, what if I do this? What happens? What if I do this? What happens? Okay, now that I've experienced this, I'm done with it. Let me move on and do this. Just simply because it can and it wants to know what happens. What does it create if I do it this way, if I do it that way? And so all that's happening is you're coming to a place of some beliefs, patterns, programs that you have to be the Superman for everybody else. It's coming to a culminating point that you may not want to experience it that way anymore. So you've got to get to a place where you're okay not being that for everybody else and being okay for just yourself that way without feeling the negative vibration of that feeling selfish or that feeling like you're not doing your universal job or whatever those emotions are that come up when you think about stop having to be the fixer of everybody else's stuff or being the swoop in and keep everybody safe, sound, and secure because the vibration has changed for you. Because you said, why do I have to be the one that does this? Why am I the one that has to create this for everybody else? That very moment of awareness changed the vibrational frequency from I enjoy doing it, it's interesting, it's intriguing, which is how it used to feel. It changed it to now it's a have to, kind of almost like chore. That's an emotion. It's indicating to you that it's time for you to upgrade and evolve past that and explore what would it feel like if I didn't have to be that for everybody else and I could just be that for myself, or give it to the universe and trust that the universe keeps everybody perfectly safe and secure. And it is just that. It just depends on which grades you want to. How gifted and talented are you? What grade do you want to jump?
Well, I don't want to. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, he is speechless. Crickets. Where's the crickets? Cue the crickets. You know you can roast those and eat them.
Cover them in chocolate.
And they taste kind of like sunflower seeds.
Yeah, I know. So what I heard in that statement from you was, when I ask why about my purpose, I have to remove what I identify as my purpose now.
Right. You've got to redefine the word.
And
you got to give it a broader definition so that you have the actual ability to let the more evolved concept come in to the mind. If you have a very limited definition in play, then you don't even have the ability to hear, even if the information is being given to you, which it always is. Here's the thing. Information, when you ask for it, it is immediately given to you.
Well, what is it?
Information.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you ask for something from your higher self, your counsel, whatever you call it, as soon as you ask for the answer, it's given to you. The key is are you in a place where you can hear it? And if you have, for example, on a very small level, if you have a definition in place about purpose, for example, that's very small and limited, then let's bring it back around, y'all. Then your container to be able to hold additional information about that topic hasn't grown because your definition keeps your container small. So you can only hold that, and you will only be able to conceptualize that amount of information. So in order to increase the container for that particular topic, you've got to expand your definition of whatever you're holding that to be so that you can hear, because it changes vibrational frequency.
Okay.
And the minute that you do that, then the information will come flooding in by whatever means you communicate with the universe, your higher self, your counsel. The information will just start boom, 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 boom. Books will fly off the shelf. People will come into your reality, giving you all these bits and pieces of information. And you'll have what we call the epiphanal moments or moments.
Do you have a mouse in your pocket?
I do.
I said, do you? Because you said we call. Who's we?
We call who? Oh, well, I mean, me. There's several aspects of me. So we are a we.
Okay.
I mean, I channel information.
And so if I understand what you're saying, I liked the description you give of expanding your container.
Yeah.
So it's not so much, to backtrack a little bit, it's not so much that you have to remove your purpose. It's so much you have to expand your container so different information can come in that will fill that container again and with a more positive outlook on it. So, for example, if you have a group of friends and you're kind of that person in the friendship group that keeps the energy up for them. You're always the one driving the show. You're always the one making the plans for everybody. You're always the one, picking everybody up, whatever that is. And you identify yourself as kind of the driver of your little friends group. It's okay to expand and say, okay, listen, you're doing the planning this week. You're doing the driving this week. It's your job to keep the energy up this week. And then open your container and allow more knowledge to come in to identify the why. Now, because now you've given away your responsibility, but you're still in this group.
Yes. But even you explaining that example, what kind of is mucking that up is that in that particular example, you still have to be okay letting go of the control of it and letting it manifest into whatever it manifests in and being okay with that. Because
you have to give up control? What?
Yeah. So even you wanting to no longer be the orchestrator of the situation, you still in that example said, I'm appointing you as this, I'm appointing you as this, I'm appointing you as this. It's still you maintaining a level of orchestrating and controlling it. The real evolved place that you want to go to, which would be high school, possibly even college class level, would be to get to a place where you just say to the group, I'm not going to create this one. So whoever wants to get in the driver's seat, get in the driver's seat and let it go into what it naturally would go into without you humanly appointing this, this, and this, and this, because you don't trust that the higher self, universe, God will orchestrate it or choreography it into this beautiful, magnificent, magical experience.
Pump the brakes, Doc. Dang, you made the rumbling camp. Did you? I wonder if they heard that on the mic. What was that?
It was probably the cat knocking on the door.
Holy cow! We have a cat that stands up on her hind legs and actually uses her knuckles and knocks on the door, I guess. I don't know.
I think she tries to open the door because she wants in.
So,
our editor often has to edit out the meows in the background because she says, I want my mic time. Let me in. Otherwise, she gets up here and she wants to sit on the equipment and be all up in the business. So we have to lock her out.
So what you're describing to me, how I hear it is, when you have a why, you're just supposed to train wreck and give up all control of all of it.
Well, that's the advanced place, the bigger picture. Not everybody is at the place where they can do that. So again, you have to back up and take baby steps that are the path of least resistance to get to a place where you feel good within it. And so if it is a very resistant feeling to just give up all forms of control and let this event take place however it's going to, and completely experience it the way that I described it versus the way you described it, if that puts you in a place of feeling awful, then you're not there yet, and it will not be a pleasant experience. So if you have to back up and you've got to take baby steps to experience it the way that you experienced it, that's the path of resistant-free path. So if you've got to allocate jobs and chores within it to free yourself up to where it feels better, even just a little bit, that's the journey that you're on. That's the place where you got to be. Sometimes, like we've talked about in the past, when you're teaching yourself a new pattern, program, or habit, you got to do it in layers. If you try to jump from here to there, it may be too big of a jump, and you may not be able to do it in the softest, easiest way. And if you try to make the jump and you miss the cliff, then you're hanging on by fingernails and it hurts like hell and it's awful.
Okay.
And so by you taking baby steps, the event that you just described where you're in a group of friends and you don't want to be the manifester of the fun, appointing each individual to take care of this and this and this and this, it may be the easiest way for you to go about getting to the college level concept that I described. You should go with that. It's not right or wrong. It's just following the path of least resistance. So let's revisit on a physics level. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. And energy follows what?
The path of least resistance.
Oh my gosh. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all keep clapping for me out in the audience.
Our own energy, which is what we call our vibrational frequency, does the same thing. But our thoughts, patterns, programs, and beliefs can flub up or kind of jam up the flow of that frequency. So you find a way in your mental programming to follow the path of the least resistance, evidenced by the way you feel. So if going these 2 baby steps gives you a sense of relief for that moment, then do that.
Okay.
If following the next 10 steps or jumping from this point to 10 foot in front of you feels even more exciting and adrenaline junkie flow, then do that. It's all correct. We never get it done. Change is always going to happen. It always is going to happen. Following the path of least resistance by evidence of your emotions. What feels better? Even just a tiny bit better. And then redefining some of the words that we use.
Such as? What words are you talking about?
The words that the topic of what is your purpose?
Oh, okay.
What is your purpose? This all started because you said,
why?
I'm confused about what my purpose is.
Correct. So
on a lower level. I mean, the real large, like PhD level of our awakening process, our purpose, our only purpose is to have experiences in divine flow, following our joy and excitement at every given moment, no matter what it looks like, without judgment, without criticism, in an unconditional way, to add to the multiverse consciousness experience. That's the ultimate big, huge purpose. And so nobody has any one purpose that they were sent here on a mission to do. Your purpose is multifaceted. There's many purposes that you come here to do. And even if you've got contractual purposes in play, there's going to be side purposes that come up because we have free will. And so if you decide while you're down here, oh, you know what? This is not my ultimate purpose right this minute, but I want to take a side trip on what does this feel like if I do this? You get to make those choices and those decisions along the way.
When I have these kind of rubs in my life, it's not really a rub, just a place of confusion, or I always ask myself 4 things. What is it that I'm going through? Why I'm going through it? How to fix it, correct it, change it, whatever I need to do, and when. So I asked myself what this morning. What is it that's the rub that's in my energy? Because I didn't feel quite right this morning when I got up.
But why do you want any of that to happen in the first place?
What do you mean? That's question 2. I'm on what still?
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
Ahead. You jumped ahead.
Sorry, teacher's pet.
And so I said, what is it that's going on in my reality? And I identified what is. I was questioning I'm questioning the purpose of my purpose. So I asked myself, why am I questioning the purpose of my purpose? Identify those things like I just talked about. Why am I questioning my purpose right in life right now? And what is it that is not resonating with me? Then I ask myself, how do I fix it? How do I correct it? Do I even need to correct it? And when do I do that? And how, in the process of when, always identifies to me the result of change in my reality. So to identify in a little bit more specific way is, I know my greater purpose. And I think everybody that's in any kind of an awakened state probably does. They probably understand that we're here for experiences and to add to the collective consciousness and move through each reality as we need to do.
There's some that don't.
Yeah, I agree. But when it comes on a daily basis, like this morning, I felt to me like this was a completely human interaction I was having with myself and creating some negative feedback within my own biofield. But
you understand that's not always a negative thing.
I agree.
Because the way that the mechanism works, you have a human for a purpose.
Agreed.
And that is to give you the human perspective. Because if you only had your spiritual perspective, then
we wouldn't have our humans screwing up everything. Come on, that wouldn't be no fun.
What's the point in coming into a human meat suit and giving yourself the illusion that you're having a challenging journey as being a human? What would be the point if you didn't have a human to perceive it?
I totally agree with that.
Hey, y'all, this ended up a little long, so we're going for part 2 coming up next. Stay tuned.